Welcome back to the show, everybody. I'm Damon Hatfield. We're going to take a look at Elite Dangerous. David here is going to show us the Xbox One version.
Excellent.
Which was just made available through the Xbox One game preview program.
That's right, and it's going to be played live, so fingers crossed. I love live demos. What can possibly go wrong?
Yeah, we're connecting online via the internet here. So Elite Dangerous is the insane space-faring game with a billion planets. Is that right?
Almost. We've got 400 billion star systems.
Yeah.
So it's the real one-to-one Milky Way galaxy.
Yeah.
But within that, you can do whatever you like. You can fight, you can trade, assassinate your way around. It's very, very exciting.
Officially launched on PC in December. Now it's available on Xbox One.
That's right, in the game preview program, and you can play it for free for up to an hour. And it's being shown by John Virgo here, one of our ambassadors, live on an Xbox One at 1080p.
So, if people haven't played it already, what do they need to know?
Well, the game works, and you're giving a small spaceship and a little bit of money, and you can do what you like. But what you're seeing here is one of the training missions that you can play now. And it's one of those things, it's like when you played Call of Duty all those years ago for the first time on a controller. So many people spent their time wandering around looking at their feet and not getting used to it. But now, people pick it up and are slick as anything. It clicked. This game, you need to persist a little bit, and then when it clicks, it's absolutely great. It's really fun to take part in. And that's what these training missions are about, and coming soon to Xbox. So the Xbox has got the full game, not dumbed down at all at the moment. That's what's live now. But something called CQC is coming soon, also to Xbox, which is a close quarters championship. Close quarters combat championship, sorry, where you play against other players in a team, and it's great fun.
Cool. So this is teaching us just the way ship combat works?
That's right, and it's just getting the feel of it. You know, all of the controls of it. You're flying a plane, so you've got a lot of degrees of freedom. But it's great fun. When you first get to play it, you fly, as we're flying here, where it flies quite a lot like an aeroplane. But that's because of something called flight assist, which assists the way you fly. And you then can have a whole new learning where you turn flight assist off, and you can fly. It's amazingly sort of balletic, watching some people who are expert at it. I'm not very good at it. Fly that way, because it's very confusing.
All right, so we successfully completed the training mission.
Yep, so we're now going on to the next one. This is in a ship called a Vulture that you see there, the sort of schematic of it. The great thing about the training missions is you get a taste of some of the ships that you can get but can't yet afford. So here we see flying over the rings of a gas giant, not unlike Saturn, if you like. And you can see he's got wingmen. These are the two green. That means they're friendlies. So you can play in the game with your friends and speak to them over headsets and cooperate, or, of course, go up against them. So here the wing is attacking one ship. You can see one of the context menus coming up, because we've got we've added to the control system that you've already got on the PC using an Xbox controller, where you can bring up context menus to do additional functions.
I see.
So here we're going up against a big trading ship with the two friends. This is a Type 9, so big cargo ship. You can see its shields flaring there. Its shields are now down. You see the damage we're doing. But overall, there is no one way of playing Elite. You can play it here as essentially as a pirate. You can play it as a bounty hunter where you go up against people. You can do missions, take out contracts on people. It's all great fun. And we've also, ever since the game came out in December, we've been bringing out updates where we've been bringing new functions into the game. We brought a function out a few weeks ago called Power Play, where you can interact with the galactic politics, if you like. We've had lots of thousands of players grouping together, bringing down governments and changing the law in a system. So it's a very, very rich system that is great fun to play, and I'd come and join us.
Is there a certain play style that tends to be more popular that you find?
Amongst different people have their own personal favorite play styles. I think the one that's easiest to get into is to go and be a bounty hunter. Go and find ships that have a wanted, with essentially a criminal record, and cash in those bounties, and you can make a lot of money that way. And it's fun, and it's quick, and it's very straightforward.
Who's setting the bounties? Is it other players? Is it you?
So there is something called the Pilots Federation in the game, and anyone who attacks its members gets a bounty on their head. And all members of the Pilots Federation are players. And so it puts a bounty on people who attack its its people, and in turn you can cash in that bounty for
I
going
see.
after the people to do that.
I see.
It's one of these balancing things so that PvP is actually quite challenging, and also from the point of view, we don't want people to be mostly attacking players.
Yeah.
Most of the ships you meet in the game, even in open play, are AIs. So it's great. If you see another player, which is distinguishable on your scanner, you've got a little hollow sort of stalk.
What do we
Where we are at the moment, we're in something called Super Cruise, where we're traveling between systems very, very quickly. Here we're going at more than twice the speed of light, traveling around a system. In fact, shall we show the galactic map, John? So this is a map of the galaxy. This is where we are. And you start to get the feel of the scale of the game. That's the system we're in, Frigima. But if we zoom out, you can see that it's tiny in the scale of the galaxy. You can see Sol, the sun, there in the distance in the map. But you can also just see the sheer number of systems. So if we zoom out some more, you start to see that it's a tiny, tiny dot within a giant galaxy. And this is our real galaxy. It's as accurate as we can make it.
Yeah.
We got 160,000 star systems from star catalogs. The entire night sky is there, and you can visit it. So it's mind-blowing scale.
Yeah. When I look, I think the Far Cry 4 map is big. So this is like, well, I don't know.
This is stupidly big. In
Yeah.
fact, we think it's the biggest game there's ever been in terms of the play map.
So how much of the galaxy has been explored so far?
So we've had players since December, because you get paid for exploring, and you get your name attached to each system you explore.
Okay.
And exploration is great, just heading out into the unknown with a suitably equipped ship. But it's something like 0.0001% has so far even been visited by someone, so not even properly explored. So the galaxy is truly, truly huge.
Are you going for realism? Like, I mean, imagining this, if space exploration were really possible, this is what we think it would be like, or are you going for science fiction, and are there alien life forms that you're going to encounter?
Well, there may well be. Some strange things have been discovered in the game already.
Yeah? Can you give an example?
A strange artifact that people don't know where it came from. If you carry it in your ship, it's very rare. If you carry it in your ship, all your systems start failing.
Oh, wow.
But there are puzzles there, which
Okay.
I think people haven't worked out what's going on, but
Interesting.
it's exciting. And there'll be more to come.
Okay.
So here we're visiting an outpost, which is a sort of station that doesn't rotate. Most of the stations rotate when you dock them. You've probably seen a lot of the coverage, but this is a shack-in space, if you like. This is a very small thing that you can land on, like a science research station or a transport cafe.
So,
Here you see the landing pads on the surface.
all right, so we're going to land here,
Yeah, we
Okay.
can.
and then are we able to get out? Walk
No,
around, or
you
no?
can't get out, but that's something we talked about for
Yeah.
the future.
So what's the benefit of landing at a station then?
Oh, you can trade there.
Okay.
You can buy fuel, you can re-equip your ship, you can even buy new ships if there's a shipyard here. I don't think there's a shipyard here. In fact, once you've landed, John, you can show the system map. So you see the little thing at the bottom assisting you how to land? So this is a very, very big game. There's an awful lot to the game.
Right.
A richness of things to explore and things to do. But you can also, you take on missions here as well. That's the reason to go to a starport. But a lot of the things, like if one of your pieces of ship equipment break, you can replace it. You can also upgrade. So you start off with a basic ship, but you can sort of trick it out, if you like, by putting more and more facilities. This is a very small system, a single star, an asteroid belt. This moon we're around, that's showing us where we are. But it's a very, very minimal system. Some of them systems have 4 or even 6 stars in them with planets going around various ones. But it's all as real as we can make it. And most of them are based on real stars that are out there.
I see.
So there's a lot of richness here. Okay, do you want to show some of the trading screens? Oh, in fact, here, what about outfitting? If this is, oh, it's not got outfitting, never mind.
So you
Go
can
to the
make
commodities
repairs.
market, maybe. So you can buy and sell trade goods. The prices, they have rare goods, which get more valuable the further away you go. But I think the most exciting thing is combat here. So maybe if we go out, is there a resource extraction site or a beacon here, John? So we're playing the game now, the full game.
Right.
And this is in the game preview program, so it's going to get better. Things like,
Sure.
there are places where occasionally the frame rate may stutter, but that's going to
Right.
improve.
Yeah, it's similar to Steam Access, where
That's right. That's the sort of
the
thing.
games are in a near finished state,
Yeah.
and you can play them as they.
But it's also really helpful to have a lot of people playing it,
Right.
so we can get the balance, particularly for the close quarter combat, right. I'm very, very proud. The team have done such a good job. And if you're listening to this in 5.1,
Yeah.
it's absolutely amazing.
Does everyone start the game out in the same place with the same ship?
No, well, yes, you do,
Okay.
but they spread out very quickly,
Yeah.
and that's the sort of thing changing. But it's also how you play the game. So the training missions is just you. That's single-player, standalone
Yeah.
to learn. CQC is separate from the game. That's essentially a practice mechanism, but also you can hone your skills against other players. So there are leaderboards and all that sort of thing.
Sure.
And capture the flag, although we're not calling it a flag.
Yeah. So what are the character we're playing as right here? Are we a very experienced character? Do we have a
No,
fast
this
ship?
is we're flying a very basic ship. This is
Okay.
the Sidewinder you get right at the start. What we see here is also the ratings. You see here that the combat rank is harmless. That's where you start. You can work up all the way to elite, depending on how good at combat you are. Similarly, for trade and for exploration, you can get a rating as well.
I see.
And so we have achievements for these things. You can get elite in all three as well.
Oh,
And
cool.
in fact, earlier this year, we ran a competition, which was £1,000 or roughly $1,500 for the first person to get to elite in each rank,
I see.
and £10,000 or $15,000
Yeah.
for the person to get all three.
Oh, cool.
So it was great seeing people race to that, and it was wonderful to see.
So
but
how
the
long-
game is so rich; there is so much in there to
Yeah.
find.
So we're looking for some combat right now? Is that right?
We can, if you like, or we can go back to the training missions. So that, in fact, John, yes, take us to the beacon. Or yes, all right. Let's go back to. In fact, we can show that my ship is in here that I've got
yeah,
at the moment.
let's
The ASP. So what we're seeing here is a live game playing. So you
Hopefully,
don't know quite what to
yeah.
expect.
Hopefully everything
Seems
runs
to be working
smoothly.
fine
Yeah.
so far, so it's fingers crossed. It only went live on Xbox, was it yesterday?
yeah,
2 days ago.
2 days
yeah.
ago, yeah.
It went live straight after the Microsoft
Yeah.
conference, so exciting stuff. So what you see here is a ship called the ASP Explorer, which is a great ship. It's got 4 what we call gimbaled beam lasers. So with this, they will sort of auto-aim slightly, but it makes for very, very fast, effective combat. The great thing about that is the ASP is quite a big ship, quite an expensive ship. So as I said earlier, you get to try out some of these ships. But also for someone like me, it means you can actually go for combat very quickly, because you don't have to center it in the center. But if you are very, very good at this sort of twitch response, you can go for a bigger weapon that isn't gimbaled, what we call a fixed weapon. Then you get a bigger weapon into that slot.
Sure.
There are lots of other mechanics here as well, where you see. So there's something called a heat mechanic, where your ship only shows on other people's scanners when it's hot.
Okay.
So you can keep it cool if you can not use your weapons or use weapons that don't give out heat. You can also have things like heat sinks, because if you look at the ship you're attacking, the vents light up orange. That also makes it very, very visible on the scanner.
And if you get shot down, you're sent back to a nearby space station?
Yes, you go back to your last position,
Okay.
and you have an insurance on your ship, which you have to pay for.
Ah, I see.
But you can earn money very easily in the game, so that's not normally a problem. So this night sky, by the way, is really accurate. So everything there is real. The Milky Way is really like that at this position in space. We saw something called Barnard's Loop, very pretty. We're doing weather patterns on the surface of the planets. So the whole game, I'm really... there's so much to see.
Yeah, it's hard to wrap your mind around.
Yeah. So on the great thing as well, we brought this out for Xbox One. This is coming to PC later as well, and it will be free for PC users and for Mac users. Close Quarters Combat is coming. That's not what we're showing here. But also we will have more to announce for the PC soon.
Okay. You're aiming to keep the PC and Xbox One versions as identical as possible?
Well, what we'll do is it's the same at the moment, yes, but we're actually running the game preview program is being run at the moment on Xbox on a separate world. That's mainly because as we do the tweaks to the Xbox, it won't affect the PC.
I see.
In the same way, when we run the PC betas, which we have done,
Yeah.
we've done it in a separate world so that the changes there, if anything goes wrong, it doesn't affect the main galaxy.
Wow. That's Elite Dangerous. It's a super ambitious, super impressive game. It's available on PC now, and it's available on Xbox One as part of the Xbox One game preview program.
That's right, and on Mac.
And on Mac, too. David, thanks
Lovely
so much
talking
for
to you. Thank
coming
you.
by the show. Stay
And
tuned.
thank you, everybody.
Much more to come from E3 here at IGN.